Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a message coming to you all about inspired action. And I want to start with saying the message that, you don't have time to complain when you're too busy taking inspired action. And really what I want the message of today to be about is there's kind of two versions of ourselves, and also kind of like we tend to be one or the other, two versions of just human beings out there. In terms of what the topic that I want to talk to you guys about today, in terms of those of us who are really focused on getting really inspired and like getting clear on this vision and being able to dream about it and all of that sort of stuff. And then there's this other version of person who's just like an action taker, like they're all about action, right? And what I want to talk about today is I want us to be able to bring and merge these two versions of people or ourselves into the one. And if we don't do that, we're not going to get ahead, and we're going to end up just complaining our lives away. And that's why I've titled it, you don't have time to complain when you're in inspired action. That's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. So the reason why this has come up is because it's so interesting to me, that I have this great friend in my life, and we have so many similarities, but then we end up being like kind of on the other side of the spectrum in a lot of ways as well. And so he can be like really, inspired by this, like being able to dream about things, and maybe not have as much action attached to it. Whereas I can be, I'm tapping in more and more to my inspiration, but like if I'm not taking action, like I'm feeling really bad. So where we kind of converge and meet each other in the middle, it's generally tends to be with, actually he called me this morning, and he kind of like gave me this new inspiration in terms of what I'm doing, and kind of encouraging me to like stay true to my inspiration. And simultaneously in that same conversation, I, was inspiring him into more action. And it was kind of like this kind of, it's why I was inspired to deliver this message to you guys today, because if you don't have inspiration attached to action, or action that's attached to inspiration, you're just not going to feel fulfilled. And if you don't have that, like you've got to go on that journey of getting inspired, knowing what is most meaningful to you, knowing what would inspire you to the highest degree. But if you don't couple it with action, what the hell are you doing? Like you're just going to be living in this idealistic vision, and you're never going to make any traction. But at the same time, if you're somebody who's just like, I've got to get into action, like forget about, I can't do like the slow down, like let's get inspired work, I've got to just get into action. The same thing, you're going to end up in the same place where you might be taking a whole bunch of action, but it's actually not inspired, and therefore you're not going to get fulfilled. And just popped into my head again, I got an email from another amazing friend of mine, you know who you are, who shot me an email about their confusion about, oh my gosh, I've forgotten his name. This is so bad for me to forget this name, but I wasn't aware of this guy who just recently committed suicide. The chef, please remind me, Anthony, oh my gosh, please tell me. I feel completely rude and horrible to not know his name with everything going on. It's just had a mind freeze. But this friend of mine reached out to me via email, said that they were very confused about, why this individual who seemed so wise, who seemed like so enlightened from his perspective, why this person got to a point of committing suicide. And when I read this message, I was instantly taken to, I could just visualize like Tony Robbins talking about how, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And that's how he spoke into Robin Williams and his suicide, about how this man could be so successful, all these goals that they set for themselves, they achieved them, they'd mastered achievement. but they hadn't, the science of achievement they had mastered, but the art of fulfillment they never got to really master. And it also got me thinking, talking into this, it was like this question being asked to me about this man who has recently committed suicide. It actually, we always make things personal because everything in life is subjective. And for me, it actually just sparked me to think into this battle that I have all of the time, which is, and it's something that I play around with every single day. And it is that, I'm so wanting and focused on, meeting other people's needs, like on being able to be of value, to be serving them, that sometimes if I can easily fall into the trap of doing everything for the external and losing that fulfillment piece, which is, I've got to look after me too. I've got to look like, what am I inspired by? What do I want? Instead of just, what does everybody want? Okay, I'm going to do that thing, right? Because it ends you in burnout, because you can never keep everybody happy. Even though you might look successful like these people did in their life, they weren't fulfilled because they were doing everything externally rather than going from the inside out with that inspiration piece. So hope this message isn't too all over the place. I hope that you're making the connections the same as I am, but ultimately around, really knowing that you must take inspired action. That means inspired means to come from within. It is intrinsic to what inspires you at your highest level, what you value most. So coming from that inside out way of action, that is how you're going to not only be successful, but also have fulfillment and not end up, in all this like action and achievement, but actually where's the inspiration? Where's that fulfillment? We've got to have both, achievement through action, and that fulfillment through making sure that action that we take is fully inspired. So I hope that today's message is going to serve you, and I hope that it will get you thinking about, if you're kind of complaining a lot about where you are in your life, it is a great sign to alert you to go, hang on a minute, how much inspired action am I involving myself in right now in my life? Guaranteed, if you've got time to complain about where your life is right now, particularly if you're complaining on a daily basis, like you've been complaining about where your life has been for weeks or months or even years, you are missing the incredible piece of inspired action taking. Not just action taking for the sake of getting into action, and not just getting inspired and creating a vision, but never really taking any action toward it. You need the combination of the two. And this beautiful friend of mine that I was speaking to this morning, who had, got me more inspired and I'd got him more into action, I challenged him to make a promise to me, which was, and sometimes you need some accountability or some people in your life who you feel comfortable doing this with, but the promise was that I made him make with me, which was the next time you tap into that inspiration, because he can tap into that inspiration really amazingly well, is to couple it with some action, and not just any old action, okay? Because we all have some form of action that we feel pretty comfortable about. For him, it's like reading another book or learning something more. Instead of that, I challenged him to take action in alignment with that inspiration that was slightly out of his comfort zone, and to think outside the box with that action. And I'm challenging you guys to do the same. And, for me, like I said, it kind of comes the other way. I'm like, action, action, action. Oh, hang on a minute. Is it still attached to what inspires me, or is it shifted gears into, me trying to meet the needs of external people who I can't meet everybody's needs, and I actually need to, in order to meet their needs at my highest capacity, it needs to come from inspiration. Otherwise, I'm just going to burn out in action, and I'm not going to feel fulfilled, and I'm not going to be able to serve at my highest capacity. Whichever direction it is for you, whether you're more like, I can go dream about the inspired thing that I want to do, but I can't really get into action, versus I'm all about action, but sometimes I miss the boat on really attaching to that inspiration. Tends to be More introverted people can more dream about it, and it's harder for them to get into action as a general rule. And as a general rule, it's more extroverted people who are like, action, action, action. Oh, hang on a minute, better just slow down and go inside and actually tap into that inspiration. So really, really want to check in with you guys. But if you are ready to make sure that your inspiration is totally aligned with action, I want to help you on that journey. That is what the monthly masterclasses are all about with the Limitless Potential Academy, about to launch in, oh my gosh, 3 more sleeps. So get ready, make sure you're enrolled. I can't wait to take you through the #1 tool that changed everything for me in personal development. I started here. I can't wait to share it all with you. Stock your tool belt up and continue that journey with you each and every month. So much ahead in store for you, but it's all about inspiration and action, being in alignment and getting you to your limitless potential. So link is up above. Want to check in with you guys. Make sure that you are dropping any questions or comments or any feedback for me. And the name of the guy was Anthony Bourdain. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I feel completely heartless almost to have forgotten that name with everything going on. It's a serious topic. And sorry about if I offended anybody with that, but let me check in. I've got Edgar and Joe and Katie and Josie and Jolene and Kathy and Judy and Brian. Hello, my friend. And hello to you, Scott. And Tomican, hello. And Elias, hello to you. And Jean-Francois is here. And Sandra and Alexandria, yay. And Scott, the visionary and the action taker. Yes, exactly. So, you know, we can play those different roles, and it's such a power combination, you know, to have in team dynamics, to have that visionary and have that kind of action taker who executes the plan. But we also, in our lives, we need to play all roles. Yes, we're going to have like one in particular that is totally our thing, that's going to feel most natural. But in order to like really succeed in reaching the next level of our potential, we're going to grow, we're going to develop, we're going to be more rounded out. Also, we need to have the right people on our team with everything that we do, whether they be in our friendships, our family dynamics, our business relationships. We want the right people in the right positions on our bus, right? But definitely we want to be able to tap into a level of that so that we can, if we're more of an action taker, we need to tap into being more of the visionary to get inspiration and then align the action that way. Or if we're more of the visionary, we need to like encompass more of that action taking ability as well. We're all human beings who have access to developing those different parts of ourselves. So definitely, I love that, Scott. Thank you. And James is here, and Jennifer, hello to you, and Flavio, and Jennifer from Kentucky. I love it. And Annette, and Jim, and Fazia, and Byron, and Carolina, and Mary, and Mary, and Alexis, and Josie. I find people say they are inspired by someone, but no action follows. I think they just mean impressed, not inspired. Oh, that is such a great point, Josie. Absolutely. Because think about it this way. I like to think about inspiration and motivation. Inspiration is like what I've been talking about. It is from the inside out. Nobody needs to inspire. It needs to remind us or motivate us or give us a reward of pain or pleasure to actually get into that inspired action. Comes from within. We're spontaneously inspired from within to do this sort of thing, right? It's a thing that we never have to convince ourselves of. Versus motivation, which is externally. We need some sort of motivation from an external source to get us into that action. Now, we don't want to rely on motivation because we're not in control of it. Somebody else motivating us via their actions, via the pain or pleasure that they're going to inflict on us or whatever, that's not in our control. So we always want to be shifting gears to tap into inspiration, which only you can generate from within. You might have people in your life who can guide you towards accessing that inspiration, It's what I want to do, and it's what all my courses, all my work, all my programs, everything is geared towards tapping you into your inspiration. Not me trying to convince you of something and motivate you to do something, because that's only going to be short-lived and you're going to need me. I want you to be tapping into your true inspiration, which is fully at your best fuel and fully in your control of accessing. And once you can master the art of tapping into your inspiration, you'll master the art of fulfillment, and that is what makes life. The reason why we're here is to have fulfillment, so not just success or achievement like we're talking about today. So love that, Josie. Completely know what you're talking about there. And Amanda's here, and Elf's here, and Patty, hello to you. And Elf, loving all you are and do, beautiful soul. Oh, so much love to you, Elf. I always love you joining. Yes, hope you're doing amazingly well, my friend. And Rocky's here, and Bobby, and Tavis from Florida. I love it. And Sanula, and thank you, Tavis, and M.A. So nice. How are you? I'm doing really well, and I hope that you are too. And really, guys, I hope that today's message has inspired you, hopefully into some inspired action, or being able to see where you might be missing the boat. If you're complaining about where your life is right now, if you're feeling less than fulfilled, guaranteed you are not taking enough inspired action. Like I said, not about just going action, 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 not about just dreaming big about the inspired plan without the action. It's about the convergence of the two. Get into inspired action, you won't have time to complain about anything, and you more than likely won't have much to complain about either. So really hope that today's message has served you. Make sure that you're joining me in the monthly masterclasses, kickstarting in 3 days from now. Cannot wait. And as always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. And I really hope that today's message has served you, has empowered you, and has inspired you. And I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Much love.